was a Greek name. Archimedes. Once upon a time, there was someone named Archimedes. Wait, start like this. Once upon a time, there was creatures evolving in their mind. They was given many things of many kinds. But it was difficult for them to understand the many ways of life. Intelligence does not just come from nowhere. Intelligence comes from trials and errors. And tribulations and different kinds of situations. People that are intelligent, they think it just comes from nothing, but yet they should think that there is more to life to explore and understand about life's development. One day Archimedes that was developing and learning was first raised without clothes or shoes on his feet. He was considered an animal with a beak. Like an owl, he was the owl of light. Yet he did not understand, as he seemed in his mind very timid. People had known Archimedes, the owl of light, as the one who always would guide the way. Yet they should know that there was a part of him developing, and that intelligence does not just come from nothing. Archimedes the bird was introduced to severe struggles first. He had to learn how to fly on his own by falling out of his nest of the tree. Poor little Archimedes. Archimedes watched the other birds fly first. Archimedes observed and he tried it for himself. Because Archimedes was stuck at the bottom as he fell. And he did not know how to climb to the tree. Poor little Archimedes, he went hungry, and he had to find a way to get back up that tree. Little Archimedes. Archimedes tried everything he could find, but yet he looked around, and guess what he found? He found a little squirrel, so tiny to the world, without the ability to fly. Archimedes asked who instead of why. The little squirrel wanted to help him fly. The little squirrel was ready to end the night. Archimedes saw the little squirrel eat the nut from the tree. Poor little Archimedes. He learned from the squirrel to survive until he could learn how to fly. The next day when the squirrel came out, he seen Archimedes as he would shout, as he was trying to fly on his own. And the little squirrel, seeing that he was all alone, so the little squirrel wanted to help him. So the little squirrel made a little training piece for flight exercising. The little squirrel had said he'd been around birds all of his life, and he knows how they fly. The little squirrel taught him how to fly. And when he flew back up to the tree, the squirrel proudly cried. And when the other birds asked Archimedes, "How did you learn how to fly?" little Archimedes said, "It was the squirrel I met last night." Never underestimate who you can learn from. Although the squirrel did not have wings to fly, the squirrel taught Archimedes, while the rest of them just flew by. Archimedes had become the owl of light when he learned how to empathize. He said, "The little squirrel taught me how to fly. I would do no harm to them in life. They was the ones who taught me how to fly." Archimedes did not survive like the other owls that he had known. But Archimedes was never truly alone. Archimedes wanted to learn from the other little creatures, and he flew down from the tree to ask the little mouse, not just who, but how. The little mouse survived by gathering the plants from the garden at times. But the mouse just barely survived. And that is when Archimedes became the owl of light to guide. Archimedes flew to the high point of the tree, and he could see all of the garden for the mouse to eat. So Archimedes would fly and get plants from the garden to give to the little mouse. And he said, "Thank you for telling me how." Archimedes went to the squirrel again, and instead of asking who, he asked how. And the squirrel had said out loud, "I survived by getting those tree nuts from the tree." The little squirrel had expressed that it was hard for me. And here Archimedes became the owl of light to guide, as he collected every single piece from the tree to give to the squirrel peacefully. And he says, "Thank you for telling me, Archimedes had went to the deer as Archimedes had asked very clear. Instead of who, he asked how. Did you survive, and what did you eat now? The deers had said that they ate things from the garden, but there was a fence that was blocking. So Archimedes that became the owl of light to guide. And Archimedes, to which who could fly to the garden that night to get all of the things that the deer needed to survive. There again. The deer had said thank you for what you had done. The deer had said, "Do you do this just for fun?" Archimedes said, "When no one else cared about me, the little squirrel taught me how to fly. And I will never underestimate things in life." Then there was a camel who needed water in the desert. And Archimedes flew to the camel, and instead of asking who, he said how. Do you survive in the desert now? And the camel said, I search for water, and I eat little plants. But the camel says that it was difficult to see where the water was for me. And that is when Archimedes became the owl of light to help to guide the camel to the water as he could fly. Archimedes, the owl of light, had learned from all of these creatures on how they survive, just one little thing at a time. And when they needed guidance, they went to Archimedes for what they needed. And Archimedes survived by the garden, just as he learned from the deer. And he learned that you had to have water. Archimedes chose the best way of survival from learning from others. And Archimedes had said, never underestimate what you could be learning. Very good. And that is the story of the development of how the mind evolves and how that turns out. You learn from everything if you are willing. And that was the story of Archimedes, the owl of light. It was only that way because he learned not to underestimate, yet instead to unite in love. To turn this earth like the heavens. Very good. And this is K-A-Y-L-A-N, better known as Professor Cygnus and Angels. And my angels and I are as one human being. I know it is beyond the sight you are seeing. We're doing very good, my miracles, my wonderful angels. And this is our new bedtime story, Archimedes,